Look at this painting long enough and death will stare back at you. Not metaphorically, literally. Hidden in plain sight at the bottom of one of the Renaissance's most opulent portraits is a secret that only reveals itself when viewed from a specific angle. Stand to the right side of the painting. Look sideways, and that strange smear across the bottom transforms into a perfect, chilling human skull. I'm Oleg G from Art Explained, Simply and Quickly, and today we're decoding Hans Holbein's masterpiece, The Ambassadors. A painting that combines extreme wealth, cutting-edge science, religious turmoil, and a memento mori optical illusion that still startles viewers nearly 500 years after it was created. Painted in 1533, this double portrait seems at first glance to be a straightforward display of power and knowledge. Two elegantly dressed men stand confidently on either side of a two-tiered shelf loaded with objects representing wealth, learning, and status. But nothing in this painting is as simple as it first appears. Every object, every detail carries multiple layers of meaning, political messages, and hidden warnings that would have been read clearly by its intended Tudor audience. Let's first identify our two ambassadors. On the left stands Jean de Dinteville, French ambassador to England. Just 29 years old, he's dressed in the height of Renaissance luxury, a fur-lined coat, a fashionable flat cap, adorned with a jeweled medallion, and around his neck, the Order of St. Michael, France's highest chivalric honor. His hand rests on the dagger at his hip, its handle bearing his age, 29. The floor beneath him is intricate marble, signifying both earthly wealth and cosmic order. On the right is his friend Georges de Selve, Bishop of Lavaur, who at just 25 was already an accomplished diplomat. He wears the robes of a clergyman and leans slightly on a book, likely the scriptures. His elbow rests near another book that subtly displays his age, 25. If you're finding this video helpful so far, I'd really appreciate a like. It helps YouTube show my content to more art lovers like you. I put a lot of time and care into these tutorials, and your support makes a big difference. Thanks so much. These two young, powerful men represent the twin powers of Renaissance Europe, secular authority and religious influence. But their expressions betray a tension that permeates the entire composition. Look at their faces. Despite their youth, wealth, and status, neither man smiles. De Dinteville appears weary, almost melancholy. De Selve looks concerned, his brow slightly furrowed. These aren't expressions of triumph, but of uncertainty. And for good reason, they were navigating one of history's most dangerous political landscapes. The year 1533 was a pivotal moment in European politics and religion. In England, Henry VIII had just secretly married Anne Boleyn, breaking with the Catholic Church and setting in motion the English Reformation. France was caught between supporting either England or Rome. De Dinteville, as French ambassador, was trapped in a nearly impossible diplomatic situation, attempting to maintain France's alliance with England without alienating the Vatican. This political and religious tension is encoded in the objects that surround the ambassadors. The upper shelf contains celestial instruments, a celestial globe, sundial, quadrant, and torquetum. Tools for understanding the heavens. The lower shelf holds terrestrial items, a globe, books, a lute, flutes, and a hymn book. These aren't just status symbols, they're a complex symbolic language. The celestial globe on the upper shelf is tilted to show the constellations visible over London on April 11th, 1533, the exact date of Good Friday that year. This wasn't arbitrary. Good Friday, marking Christ's crucifixion, was the day when heaven and earth were most dramatically connected in Christian theology. The painting itself becomes a kind of calendar, freezing a specific, theologically significant moment in time. Now look at the Lutheran hymnal open on the lower shelf. It's displayed to show Martin Luther's translation of the hymn come Holy Ghost. In 1533, possessing Lutheran texts in Catholic countries could be punishable by death. Its presence suggests sympathy for church reform, but its placement on the lower, earthly shelf keeps it subtly separate from the Catholic crucifix, partially visible behind the curtain in the upper left corner. Holbein is mapping the religious divide that was tearing Europe apart. The broken lute string on the lower shelf speaks volumes. In Renaissance symbolism, musical harmony represented social and political harmony. A broken string signifies discord, a perfect metaphor for the fractured religious and political landscape these ambassadors were navigating. Next to it, the case for the flutes is slightly open, suggesting further disharmony. The terrestrial globe shows Dinteville's home region of France prominently, while the arithmetic book is open to the division of fractions, another symbol of the division plaguing Europe. Each object has been selected not just to display wealth and learning, but to communicate specific messages about the precarious state of European politics. But let's return to the painting's most startling feature, that distorted skull stretching across the foreground. This anamorphic image, visible clearly only when viewed from a sharp angle, employs sophisticated optical principles that were cutting edge in the 1530s. Holbein likely used a conical mirror or grid method to create this precise distortion. The technique itself showcases his technical virtuosity and scientific knowledge. Why include such a dramatic memento mori, reminder of death, in this display of worldly accomplishment? The skull creates a dramatic perspective shift, both visually and metaphorically. It suggests that all the wealth, knowledge, and power displayed so lavishly will ultimately mean nothing in the face of mortality. No matter how skilled the diplomat, how learned the bishop, death awaits us all. The skull's positioning is deliberately intrusive. It cuts across the composition like an uninvited guest at a banquet of achievement. When viewed from the correct angle, it appears to float in front of the painting, breaking the picture plane and invading the viewer's space. Death isn't just represented, it reaches out to confront us directly. The painting's original location adds another layer of meaning. It likely hung in Dinteville's residence in London at the bottom of a staircase. Visitors descending the stairs would suddenly see the skull snap into focus at a specific point in their descent. A theatrical reminder of mortality at precisely the moment they were entering the ambassador's realm of power and influence. But there's yet another level of significance to this skull. The Latin word for skull is calvaria, Calvary, the place of Christ's crucifixion. Remember that the celestial globe is positioned to show Good Friday. The skull connects directly to Christian iconography, where Adam's skull was often depicted at the foot of the cross. The painting becomes not just a reminder of death, but a complex religious statement about salvation. Notice, too, the small crucifix partially hidden in the upper left corner behind the green curtain. It's easy to miss, but its placement is deliberate. Christ's sacrifice, the promise of resurrection and victory over the death represented by the skull, is present but obscured, hinting at the religious uncertainties of the time. The precise detail throughout the painting is extraordinary. Using a technique of layering thin oil glazes, Holbein achieves a hyper-realism that was revolutionary for its time. Look at the texture of the Turkish carpet covering the upper shelf. The intricate pattern of the mosaic floor. The subtle stubble on Dinteville's face. Each ambassador casts a shadow on the floor, grounding them in physical reality, even as the symbolic elements suggest cosmic significance. Holbein himself was navigating dangerous waters when he created this masterpiece. A German artist who had relocated to England, he was working in Henry VIII's court during its most volatile period. His patron, Thomas Cromwell was engineering the break with Rome that would transform English society. Holbein's own religious sympathies remain debated by historians, but this painting suggests a nuanced understanding of the complex forces reshaping Europe. The painting's size adds to its impact. At over 6 feet wide and just as tall, the figures are nearly life-sized. Standing before it in London's National Gallery today, viewers experience something close to a face-to-face encounter with these Renaissance diplomats. This physical presence enhances the shock when the skull suddenly snaps into focus as you move to the right viewing position. What makes the ambassadors so remarkable is how it operates on multiple levels simultaneously. It's a technical tour de force, a political document, a religious statement, a philosophical meditation on mortality, and a psychological study of two men caught in historical currents beyond their control. Few paintings manage to be so many things at once while maintaining such visual coherence. The ultimate fate of our ambassadors adds poignancy to their portrait. Jean de Dinteville would die at 35, just 6 years after this painting was completed. Georges de Selve would survive only 5 years longer, dying at 38. The skull that intrudes so dramatically on their moment of glory proved prophetic. Both men were claimed by death in their prime, their diplomatic efforts ultimately unable to prevent the religious conflicts that would tear Europe apart for generations. If you are fascinated by art that conceals profound meanings beneath its surface, hit that subscribe button right now and join our community of art explorers. Every week on Art Explained, simply and quickly, we uncover the hidden stories behind history's most powerful artworks. What aspect of The Ambassadors strikes you most powerfully? Is it the technical brilliance of the anamorphic skull, the political subtext, or something else entirely? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective might help others discover new dimensions in this remarkably complex work. If this video helped you appreciate the layers of meaning in Holbein's masterpiece, give it a thumbs up. It helps more people discover these incredible stories of art history. See you in the next exploration.